The John LeBang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John LeBang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings, and alert the media. The banger is on the microphone. Welcome to the only show that causes chronic brain cell rejuvenation. I'm your host, John LeBang, and joining me in this first segment is our good friend, Shady. You mean you needed me to hold your hand in your big debut? Give me a break, Shady. We're well past 200 episodes, so I think I know what I'm doing. John, before you get too far into your show, you might want to tell people a little bit about your background, don't you think? Well, that's probably a good idea. That's because I came up with it. Everything I come up with is a good idea. I can think of a time or two where your idea didn't work out so well, Shady. Well, that's probably because you were there. Now get on with it. You're on the radio and people want to hear something entertaining. Are you saying my past is entertaining? No, but my comments will be. So where do I start? How about from the beginning, John? Okay, well, my mom and dad were at a drive-in movie one night. And during the replay of the third movie, they jumped into the back seat and, well... John, stop right there. That's TMG. What's TMG, Shady? Too much grossness. Skip forward past your childhood and start with your entertainment career. Okay, in 1991, I recorded and produced my first album, Sneaking Peeks. Since then, 5 other albums have been released, with the most recent being in 2004, entitled The Writ. And if you ever get around to finishing your rock opera, you'll have a 7th. Yeah, and that's long overdue. That's what she said. Now get on with it, I'm getting bored here. Well, in 2007, I joined YouTube, and I started playing around with, various ideas for shows. By 2008, I was asked to be a producer on the Detroit Live Show with Darian Counts, and that's where I got to work with Grammy Award-winning producer Mark Pastoria and his brother Brian Pastoria. They're from that band DC Drive. That's right, Shady. How'd you know that? Well, I'm from Detroit. Well, can you name me their most popular song? Oh, that's easy, John. I can even sing it for you. You need love like I do, don't you? Not too bad, Shady. And that's what she said. Now, that's where I met Kenny Olson, Mitch Ryder, and Rachel Adams. I've had wet dreams about her. Now who's being TMG? Oh, shut up, John. So the Detroit Live thing lasted about 6 months. Then came the first episodes of the John LeBang Show, and I was producing them on YouTube. That lasted a year until I found my first radio station, but that was really short-lived. So I took some more time off to revamp the show once again, and then I found a local station who had interest in the show. And 3 years later, we're sending out sonic vibrations to over 30 stations in 3 countries. Now, I was waiting for that. What are you talking about, Shady? One of your Johnisms. What? Your Johnisms. Sonic vibrations. Women like things that vibrate. Not all women do, Shady. Well, maybe that's why women don't like you, John. They don't like your vibrations. What are you talking about, Shady? Your Johnisms aren't sexy enough. How would you know? Listen, I know. Like the catchphrases and the stupid words you use. Maybe you should explain a few to the new listeners so they don't think you're stupid. And while you're at it, you should probably welcome everybody at the new network. Since it's a big deal and all. You're probably right. We are very honored to be partnering up with a new network here on the John LeBang Show. Hey, John, let me announce it. Why do you want to announce it? Because I have a sexy voice. Well, so do I, Shady. Don't count on it, John. And speaking of that, now that we're stepping up in the world... We? Yeah, we. Your show was worse than a cabbage soup toilet session until I came along. And because of that, I think we should change the name of the show to Shady's Superfly Sexy Show. Well, since it's my show, I think I'm going to keep the name. Real creative. The John LeBang Show. Took you all of 2 minutes to think that one up, didn't it? Well, it leaves no doubt who the star is. That's why it should be called Shady's Superfly Sexy Show. No, that's a negative. Well, how about Shady and the John? No, that name's too close to some other show. Plus, it sounds like we're coming out of the toilet. Some nights it feels like it. Now, can I please introduce the new network? Fine, go ahead. We here at Shady's Superfly Sexy Show. Shady? Sorry, John, it just rolls off the tongue so easily. Just say it a few times. Shady's Superfly Sexy Show. He means the John LeBang Show. Right. The John LeBang Show. We would like to thank Bubba the Love Sponge. God, I like saying that name. Bubba the Love Sponge. And let's not forget Rob and everyone else at the Bubba Radio Network for inviting us to be part of the Bubba Radio Army. And don't forget to thank sexy women, John. What sexy women, Shady? The ones who are going to want to LeBang me after hearing my voice. Well, shouldn't we thank all the women, Shady? I mean, we're trying to be fair here. Not if they're ugly. Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Shady. Damn right. And that's why no one be holding you, John. Can we get back to this? We'll get on with it then. What are you waiting for? Now you can hear us on Bubba Army Radio every Sunday night from 8 to 10 p.m. That's right, we've been drafted. You mean I've been drafted? You're too old to be drafted, Shady. Well, it's not like you're some spring chicken.
Did someone say chicken?
Yes, now go back to choking yours. That was our good friend, Wilbert Hillbilly. You know, he's excited to be on the Bubba Army. He is? I think it's the militia in his blood. Well, it's not that kind of army, Shady. Well, he doesn't care. Now, can we get back to the Johnisms I brought up? Smoke another one, Shady. Oh, kiss my ass. Now, what were you saying? Can we get back to the Johnisms I brought up earlier, please? Sure. How about the mainstream manufactured news? That's one of the Johnisms you're talking about, right? Yeah, not one of your better ones. That's just your long, boring way of saying fake news. Well, what are you thinking? Well, schmeckle comes to mind, John. Well, would you like to explain that? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. You know, I think you're being a schmeckle right now. If you don't shut up, I'm going to kick you in the schmeckle. You know what? I think they get the point. Now, what about that ugly woman you call a wicked bitch from the West? You mean the Wicked Witch of the West. That's Nancy Pelosi. God screwed up when he made her. Well, how do you know God did it? Well, you've got a point there, John. She looks like the devil's first wife. Speaking of the devil, have you heard of the After School Satan Club? What the hell is that, John? Well, it's an after-school Satan club at Point Defiance Elementary. And what do they do there? Well, they're based upon a uniform syllabus that emphasizes a scientific, rationalist, and non-superstitious worldview. So another child brainwashing club. More or less. So who thought that was a good idea? No, wait, don't tell me. Lucy Lucifer and her crack hellhounds. No, it's a satanic temple in Seattle. Didn't you used to live there? Yeah, back in the 90s. Glad I moved out now. We should start a kids club, John. You think? What would we call it? Well, the How Not to Be Stupid Club. I could be the principal. Principals are in charge of schools, Shady, not clubs. Well, let's start a school then. Shady's How Not to Be Stupid University, the place for lower stupidity. Don't you mean higher learning? No, we're trying to lower stupidity, John. Not trying to teach stone people how to be smart. Well, that's not what higher learning means. Well, what does it mean then? A more in-depth education? Into what? Protesting? Sure, at some colleges. Things sure have changed. What do you mean, Shady? When I was their age, everyone went to Florida during spring break. They got drunk or got laid, and if you were lucky, you did both. Nowadays, all the girls want to protest. And how are you supposed to get drunk or laid when you're sitting in a jail cell? Can't argue with that. So what do you have planned for the show tonight anyways? Well, lost Secret Service laptops and the growing tension with North Korea are a couple of things I'm going to talk about. And don't forget Cool or Uncool with yours truly. Do you have a good one for tonight? Well, not yet. I was wanting to finish up here. Then I'm going to go to the toilet and concentrate. Is that where you come up with all your ideas? Well, as long as it's quiet, John. Speaking of that, I'm feeling a concentration session coming on now. Are we done here? Yep, we're coming up on the first break. Good, because I'm brainstorming. I'll see you later, John. Bye. That was our friend Shady. We're coming up to our first break, ladies and gentlemen. Please check out and support our sponsors, because by supporting them, you are supporting the John LeBang Show. More on the flip side. Hey, don't touch that dial. The John LeBang Show will be right back. I promise. If you are elderly, disabled, receiving SSI or Medicaid, and you have a medical need or require assistance with daily housework, shopping, grooming, medication, you may qualify for housekeeping at no cost. Call now. VIP Home Healthcare, 248-579-3805. VIP Home Healthcare, there when you need them. That's 248-579-3805. Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now.
Ladies, it doesn't matter if it's morning, noon, or night. Whether you've worked all day or you just woke up. If you got the thirst, just wet your lips on a BJ. BJ Beer, brewed right here in the great state of Michigan. Who wants a BJ? You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
Join the radio revolution right here.
It's better than some good Thai stick, man.
Yes, I would like some too. Hey, Leroy, you here? Hey, Leroy, did you take my...
Uncle Shady.
Now, what the hell are you watching?
Nothing, Uncle Shady.
PornTube, you're watching that again?
Well...
And look at this mess. What the hell are you doing with all these tissues?
Well...
Please don't tell me you were choking your chicken. Jesus, Leroy. Don't you know you can go blind from doing that?
Oh, that's a myth, Uncle Shady.
Now, why do you think I need 2 pairs of glasses and a magnifying glass to read a menu at a restaurant?
Well, it's because you're old, Uncle Shady.
That's what the doctors want you to think. God says different.
Oh, you're just superstitious, Uncle Shady.
You know, I used to think the same thing every time my mother would catch me.
Well, I'm not following you, Uncle Shady.
Well, it's like Pinocchio.
I don't understand, Uncle Shady.
Every time Pinocchio lies, his nose gets bigger, right?
Uh-huh. He was made out of wood, Uncle Shady.
So you should understand the metaphor then.
I'm not following you, Uncle Shady.
It's like Pinocchio, but in reverse. The more you smack it around, the worse your eyes get.
And that's why your eyes are bad, Uncle Shady?
Damn right. I'm surprised I'm not Stevie Wonder by now. Now clean up this place before another unsuspecting victim walks in.
Okay, Uncle Shady.
And don't forget to wash your hands. Gotta teach him everything.
You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
It's hydroponic radio for your brain, man.
Feel smarter yet? Well, you know it's going to go well with your new neighbors when you find tire tracks all across your front lawn. Yeah, I had my suspicions about these new neighbors that are moving in. They're taking over for one of my best friends on the block, actually. He had to move away after his parents passed away. He owned too many houses, so he got rid of this one here. That's next door to me. And we have a new family moving in. And I had my suspicions that there might be some interesting days that are going to lie ahead of me with these new homeowners that are moving in. I already have interesting neighbors to the north of me. The 2 houses to the north of me, it's a great time. house directly next to me, well, they're a couple of old hippies who have become hillbillies. So it's a really interesting concept where some old hippies have become hillbillies, and I have them next to me, and they have the little barking dog that if it keeps running up on me and trying to bite my ankles, it's going to become a football soon. The neighbors next to them, we have the cackle of women over there. Women running in and out of that whole place all the time. Kids every once in a while. Parties all the time. They're the neighbors that like to have fireworks, and they move the fireworks to your front yard, so that way when they fire off the fireworks, all the waste is on your yard and they don't have any cleanup to worry about the next day. So the new neighbors are going to fit in, by all accounts, great with the neighbors I have to the north of me. And it should be a spectacular, great time here in my neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, folks. I can't wait for the 4th of July to happen, because I'll have 3D fireworks, I'm sure. I'll have them coming from all around me now. And I'll try to sleep that night, or I'll be live on the radio that night, maybe. And you'll all be able to listen to the latest fireworks display from my neighbor. I had a suspicion when I saw the lady of the house show up for the first time. All 300 pounds of her. No front teeth, or at least it looks like she has no front teeth. I really haven't gotten up close to these people yet. They're in there doing something to the house, and they haven't fully moved in. Although you think they were moved in. Trucks have been coming in and out. People have been out there doing all sorts of things, moving this in and moving this in, and I don't even know what some of these people are doing. A lot of them will just sit around the front yard and smoke cigarettes. They don't go in the house, and they don't carry anything in. They don't carry anything out either. So I'm not sure who they are. Maybe it's a big family. That'll be a good time. Maybe there's like 12 or 13 or 14 of them. That'll give me a lot of privacy, I'm sure. I'm going to miss my old neighbor. He's a really great guy. They were from Lebanon. And they used to have family events, but they were always inviting me and the neighbors over, and they would feed us, and they were very respectful. They would tell me in advance, hey, we're going to have an event, and it might be loud. And I would say, okay, that's great. My other neighbors to the north of me, they don't ever warn me. I usually find out when there's people wasted in my front yard, or kids running around with dogs, screaming and hollering and barking, and got to worry about the, seeing bonfires in the front yard with my one neighbor. I was in my house one day and they were having a bonfire, and I didn't know they were having a bonfire, and looked out my front window and I see this billowing smoke coming out of the front of my house, and I'm thinking, oh my God, my car's on fire. And I run out there, and no, my car was fine. It's getting smoked out, by their front yard bonfire. That's how we roll here in my city. And I'm expecting the same out of my new neighbors. So it'll be a fun time, and I think everybody on the block will enjoy being neighbors with each other. And I'll probably have to find a new place to live now, because I'm kind of a quiet guy. I do have my band practices and stuff, so we get loud in those regards, but for the most part, I stick to myself. I work in my garden. I don't do anything too outlandish to where I don't have parties and have people drunk running around my house all the time. But it's okay, because we're going to have that. We don't need me to have that. My neighbors are going to have all that all summer, I'm sure. every possible occasion. Maybe we'll have a a pig roast in the backyard. They might have a smoke roast. I don't know what they'll be smoking. Smoking some pig, maybe some ribs, maybe some Marahuchi. I don't know. I mean, the city I'm in is fondly named after a state called Kentucky. And we call Taylor Tucky to a lot of people. And the people from Tucky come here to Taylor on us. And they move in and have a bonfire in the front yard. I can't wait for the couches to be placed in the front yard, although the city of Taylor may stop that. I'm not sure. The city may decide that they don't want my neighbors to have a couch in the front yard. You know what I'm really hoping for is that my neighbors will bring in the cows and the chickens and the roosters and all that. Chuck Berry dies at 90 years old, or he was old. Now he's gone. He had a lot of great music. He just put out a new album recently. Picked up some Burger King before the show. Was a little hungry, hadn't eaten all day. And so I go up there, and I actually wanted a little $5 pizza, but the line there was extremely long. So I go to Burger King. It was the next place over. They had a little deal there, so I order the little deal there, and it's supposed to be fast food, and I pull up, and $7 for a lousy meal from Burger Queen. And they couldn't even have it ready. They made me pull up a little bit there and wait to come out. The girl asked me at the window the order again because she didn't understand the order, and I verified it. Yes, that's what I said. So then I'm waiting out there for them to show up to bring me my meal because apparently at a fast food restaurant they can't make food fast. The girl comes out and she's got the bag in her hand. She's looking at me and she's like, "Are you sure this is your order?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I ordered. Can I have it now? Because you guys have now wasted 5 extra minutes of my time here being fast food when it was not so fast to have any fast food." I didn't even want the food, and they charged me $7.50 for this stuff. So she gives me the bag, and I leave. And as I'm driving, because I want to be at least halfway eaten by the time I get back to the studio so I can get ready to do the show tonight, take a bite of the first sandwich that I ordered, and it wasn't even hot. It was like lukewarm, and I'm thinking, I waited for this? 5 minutes I waited for this. At $7, $7.50, and I got a lukewarm sandwich. Fries had no salt on it. I guess they're trying to keep my blood pressure down. If they really wanted to keep my blood pressure down, they wouldn't have made me wait 5 minutes, or if they would have made me wait the 5 minutes that I had to wait, they'd give me at least a hot sandwich. I should have bit into it, and it should have been too hot for me to eat. But no, it was lukewarm. They always put too much mayo on there. They try to hide the taste by putting 4,000 gallons of mayo on there. Maybe you won't taste how nasty the food is actually. So that's that. I'm going to have indigestion for the whole night, probably. I'm going to have to drink some Pepto-Bismol or something. But how do people, because I don't do this very often, I don't go out and buy dinners for myself very often. How do you people deal with the overpriced, low-quality junk that they feed you at these fast food restaurants? The lines are always around the building. I don't get it. And when you get the food, it's not even good. You think you would get a hot meal, not a warm meal. Can't get that for $7. You get a lukewarm meal for $7. French fries that don't have any salt on them, and they don't put any ketchup in there. So you're eating this dried, frozen, this potato that's been overcooked in oil that should have been changed 6 months ago. And people continually pay these prices for this fast food junk that they feed you. Or you go to a chain restaurant and then you're paying $20 per person after drinks for a halfway decent meal. It ain't great, but it doesn't suck. And I'm thinking, where did the quality and good price go? People have just thrown that out the window. Who cares about giving a quality item and having it at a reasonable price so the both of them match? I don't mind paying $2 for a cheeseburger if it's a good cheeseburger, right? But you don't get a good cheeseburger for $2. Back when I was younger, you could go down to the local bar here and get a 1-pound burger, baby, for $1, and a heaping bowl of fries for another $1. Get yourself a beer for $3. You've got a beer, fries, and burger, and you're a happy camper. $3, you can't even get a beer nowadays. It's overpriced garbage. And because people need to go out and they're either, too busy to cook their own meals, or they're maybe too lazy to cook their own meals. They just want the convenience of it all. They're willing to pay these outrageous prices for mediocre products. And it enrages me, as you can tell. I like getting value for my money. And that's why I don't go out and spend the money at these restaurants very often. Because you rarely get the value. I just read there was like a $200 burger somewhere. $200 burger. There's nothing on the face of the planet. I don't care how good the meat is. I don't care how great the buns are and how nice the lettuce is and all that. There is not a burger on the planet that's worth $200. I don't care who cooked it. I don't care what the meat quality is. The best burger on the planet should only cost like $3 or $4. It's a burger. It's ground up meat. You put lettuce, tomato, a sliced onion on there, ketchup, mustard, maybe a piece of cheese, and that's it. But no, we got to pay $7, $8 for a burger. You go to these chain food restaurants and they're $10 for a lousy burger. You want something good, you want a big old steak or something, $15, $20, $30. They expect people to pay that stuff, and people do pay it. It's ridiculous. Anyways, that's the music, folks. That means we have a break coming up.
Don't go anywhere. The John LeBang Show will be right back.
You'd be crazy to change the dial now.
CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. Their billers and managers are all dedicated to working for you to increase your profits. For more information, call CRRM at 248-579-3805. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services.
Fans, do you need a video for your brand new song but don't have a lot of money? Then contact John LeBang. His reasonable rates, professional look, and fast turnarounds will help get that song off the ground. Contact him at jlebang.com.
And allow me to do a little bit of self-promotion. If you like what you're hearing on the John LeBang Show and you want to know more, then feel free to go to my website. That's www.jlebang.com. You can check out the archives of the show, check out our music. Hey, even help out the cause by going to our store and purchasing one of our many fine products. Now, if you like videos, you can go to YouTube and find us on YouTube at youtube.com/LeBangYourHead, or just type in the search engine Banger Incorporated. Now, if you're on Twitter, follow us on Twitter at John LeBang. And if you're on Facebook, then like our page at The John LeBang Show. This half hour is brought to you by Pane and the Glass Window Cleaning. For a beautiful, sparkling shine that's crystal clear, call Pane and the Glass Commercial and Residential Window Cleaning. You can look them up on Facebook at Pane and the Glass.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
Forces of darkness, the treasonable Mayans who collaborate, must, can, and will be wiped from the face of the earth.
Well, it looks like our little friends over there in Pyongyang, North Korea, are having little tantrums again, and they want some attention, like they do every so often. They get lonely up there. Not much to do in North Korea. So they're a little jealous of the rest of the world because they actually don't have what the rest of the world has for whatever reasons. And so they're having a little tantrum and they're showing off their new rockets and talking tough. And now they got Japan all in an uproar, and they got South Korea in an uproar. And now the United States has sent B-52 bombers to South Korea, and they're doing joint exercises with those countries. And now Rex Tillerson is out there talking tough against the North Koreans. And it's all the same old rhetoric over and over and over, and China's stepping in and they're saying, hey, the best way to handle North Korea is to talk to them. And with Trump in office, we're not as willing to talk with people as they were with Obama, and that's probably a good or bad thing depending on your point of view. Talking with North Korea was like talking to a terrorist group, so I personally am not in favor of that. And I would take a much harder line with North Korea. I mean, they get bent out of shape every few years. Every time there's a new president, they try to flex their muscle a little bit to see what the new president will do. And this is probably another exercise in that. And China always runs to their aid, and then we get into some diplomatic talks with China and them, and we use China to, smooth things out with North Korea. And maybe it'll work this time, maybe it won't. Trump isn't handling it like Barack Obama would handle it. Trump is sending B-52s there and saying, we're going to smack you down, dude. And the little guy out there, the little dictator, running around in his little green little outfit there, he's crazy enough not to really care about what Donald Trump is going to do or might do or could do. And hopefully the Chinese will intervene and talk some sense into the crazy whack job out there in North Korea. Maybe they can straighten him out for a little bit, pacify him in some manner. That would be nice. Otherwise, I don't think Donald Trump's going to put up with people giving him the finger much longer. I mean, everybody in the world is giving Donald Trump the finger. Eventually, he's going to smack somebody down. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's going to handle things in the same manner as the last president handled it. I think he's going to be a little more tough on the people who oppose him. He's got a lot of things on his agenda right now, so he's ignoring some of the people who are opposing him, and he's really making fools of a lot of them. But here in Pyongyang or Yongpang or whatever the guy who's running around, whatever city he's running around in, little Kim Jong-un, little dictator out there, whatever he's planning on doing, he better tread carefully because he's not dealing with Barack Obama, and his dad's not around to help him get through these dealings with a more aggressive foe. But you never know. Maybe North Korea wants to be wiped off the face of the earth. The guy is kind of crazy, so maybe they just want to be wiped off the face of the earth. It probably wouldn't hurt the world at all. Be one less idiot on the planet. Of course, that might anger some people who like him. I don't know what countries actually like him. China has a relationship with him. Iran has a relationship with him. But who gets along with North Korea? How many friends do they actually have? How many people would actually go to the funeral of North Korea? So, and you put a lot of people out of their misery if you got rid of that regime up there. Maybe something could happen in that country that benefited the people more instead of just some little fat belly dictator out there that really, the only reason he's in power is because his dad was in power. But what do I know, right? Everybody's opposing Donald Trump, so we may have a standoff with China at some point. We're having issues with Russia right now. Terrorist groups, although we've heard a lot less about ISIS now, haven't we? ISIS has kind of slipped out of the news, haven't they? Just not a major topic anymore. Those air campaigns that the president has implemented through his Defense Department and his military generals, they seem to be shutting down ISIS, aren't they? Not much going on in Syria either, so we're probably going to see something happen there soon because they want to get in there, the powers that be, the New World Order. And even though the New World Order isn't exactly running on 8 cylinders right at the moment, they're still a force to be reckoned with, and they still want their agenda to take place, and they're going to still move their pieces. They're still going to stay involved, and they're still going to try to implement their new world order. And if the news with North Korea doesn't cheer you up enough, how about this? Britain is sending 800 assault troops to Europe's border with Russia in the UK's largest military deployment against Moscow since the Cold War. An advanced spearhead of more than 120 troops flew to Estonia to bolster the nation's defense against the military might of Vladimir Putin and Russia. Backed by 300 armored military vehicles, including Challenger 2 tanks, the force will swell to 800 within weeks. It is part of a huge NATO operation in Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland to strengthen 700 miles of Eastern Europeans' border with Russia. So now we have that buildup on that side of the world. In total, there are more than 4,000 international troops pitted against Russia. NATO deployment is designed to ensure there is no repeat of Russian overnight takeover of Crimea and parts of eastern Ukraine. Britain will lead a foreign force of 1,100 troops, including French and Danish soldiers, into Estonia. UK troops will also support the U.S. in Poland. So we've got that buildup there. Like we need more people, more countries, more war, because that's something that never seems to go away. We can find time to eliminate this. We can find time to scratch that, and from that. But we can't ever seem to get away from the war thing. It's too profitable. And when you've got too many people, and pretty soon we're going to have robots taking over their jobs, you might as well send them off to war before all that happens. That way you don't have to worry about feeding people because they'll be dead. Do I like Russia? No. Let England deal with it. Let the French deal with it. Let the Germans deal with it. Let Poland and all these other countries deal with it. And here's something that's interested me for about, 4 or 5 days. I was wondering why I wasn't getting any Michael Savage videos in my news feed on my YouTube channel. You see, I wasn't able to catch the Michael Savage show here in my hometown because they had taken him off the radio and moved him to a later time at night. And I'm usually getting ready to crash at that time, so I wasn't able to listen to him. So I would pick up the podcast, the video podcast on YouTube, and just listen to it there. Well, it had been 4, 5, 6, 7 days. I don't even remember. And I'm like, there's not a Michael Savage video anywhere to be found. And I like listening to the gentleman, so I went to his homepage and found out that he was turned off. His channel was shut down because they claimed some kind of copyright infringement. Yet I know Michael Savage doesn't do anything to steal from anybody. He's a talk show host. All his bits are his own. He has interviews, he'll have phone calls, and he does, random talk about serious and not so serious subjects. Yet alone, somewhere, Google found it in its infinite wisdom to shut his channel down, but they can't shut down channels that have anti-Semitic rhetoric going on, and in fact, they're making money off these videos. And I've had my own trouble with Google, because when they shut you down, it's not easy to get your channel turned back on. You've got to play really nice for a while, and I had a strike on mine. I didn't actually have it completely shut down like Michael Savage, but I didn't have the voice he has. And they found a way to shut him down. And it wouldn't be the first time. Dutch Sense has had his YouTube site shut down a few times, and he's a weather guy. But they apparently don't like the truth being spread through the internet or anything that opposes Google's point of view, and that's what it is that if Google disagrees with your statements, disagrees with what content is in your video, they make it very hard for people to find that content, let alone they might just shut you down. Be done with it. If people are still finding your content and it's making valid points, Google will just shut you down. No big deal. If it's something they disagree with, bet your life they do that. Now I'm trying to find a way to listen to Michael Savage, because I liked spending a couple hours listening to his broadcast. He's a powerful radio host, a strong voice. He makes sense, and he's engaging. But whatever, that's Google for you. You can't, when you're that big and you're using their site, there's not much you can do about it. They can shut you down at will. And because they own the site, that's their prerogative.
Don't touch that dial. The John LeBang Show will be right back.
You can bet on it, man.
Powerful, epic music by Toothbox Roll. Life-changing lyrics come in every style, empowering humanity to finally unlock the chains of bondage. Experience the edgy side of positive music and rock your world today. From Primal to Divine, available now at sassyalternativemusic.com.
You know, if you're getting married soon and you need good entertainment, you need to contact John LeBang. He's got 30 years of experience of wedding entertainment under his belt, and there is no one better and no one cheaper. He's running a special to the end of the year, $500 for your wedding if you book now. Contact John LeBang by email at jlebang@live.com or go to his website. That's www.jlebang.com. And I'd like to welcome our new sponsor, Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning. For a beautiful, sparkling shine that's crystal clear, call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
If you want to contact the John LeBang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John LeBang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John LeBang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying the programming so far. You know, I'm even surprised I was able to get on the air this evening. We had a power outage as I was preparing for the show tonight. remaining as calm as I could possibly be, knowing, hey, I've got to get this show done and I've got to prep. And with the power out, I was just like, oh, we're just going to have to deal with this and give you the best show possible. As time will progress here, we'll get into more serious topics. We'll have more comedy. We'll even touch on music here and there. You'll get to know the John LeBang Show in its entirety. It takes about 6 weeks to really get the full range of what the John LeBang Show has to offer. One of the first things I want to discuss is this missing laptop that a Secret Service agent just happened to leave in her car. And she just happens to be an important person, or a person working for the Secret Service who had important information on her laptop that she just happened to leave in her car. What if you can fire her for that? I think you should be able to fire her for that. I mean, that was a stupid move. You're a Secret Service agent, lady. You have things, codes, a laptop that the average person shouldn't see and shouldn't be able to just walk up into your car while you're just chilling out at home and take it out of your car. I hope something nefarious isn't happening here, and it's just some street thug. And all the news report, the mainstream manufactured news, oh, it's okay, probably just a petty thug just ripped off this important laptop with important codes, ways to get to the president, no big deal. Chances are he's not going to sell it to a foreign country, or it wasn't a foreign country who did it. They're not going to get it. No foreign country is going to get it. No groups that might hate him will get it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think if it happened during Barack Obama, this is just my belief here, if it happened during the former president, the news would be freaking out right now and worried beyond belief of what might happen to the president if somebody found a way to use this laptop to their advantage. But it's, hey, no big deal if it's DT's in office. He's cool. He's got Secret Service, and they just randomly had one of their agents mysteriously leave a laptop with all this important information on it in her car, and it's no big deal. Don't worry about it, folks. You have to start wondering if something isn't happening inside the government for these weird little things, these little security breaches that are happening during the Donald Trump administration. There are people, in my opinion, somewhere hidden in the halls of government, in the shadows there, doing some pretty dirty things, trying to undermine the president. This is my belief. But we're hearing about all these leaks coming out. Now a random laptop gets lost. Hey, just some petty thug came up to a car, just randomly a Secret Service agent. I want to be there when Donald Trump says you're fired. Because this lady would be fired if I was the president at this moment. I mean, just, you'd be gone. No more working in government. That's stupid. How can these people in government, we had the Hillary Clinton with the nonchalant attitude towards her emails. These people in government are just running around with secrets and they don't even care. Just in the back of their mind, no big deal. No big deal, secret information. Could put every one of us in harm's way, no big deal.
What difference at this point does it make?
A huge.
Yes, we can.
I did not have sexual relations.
And you've got to wonder how many times this lady left that laptop in the car. If it was the first time she ever did that, there'd be some extra questioning happening. If she does it all the time. There'd be some extra questioning happening, and she'd be fired either way. But it's apparent that people in government do not take the security issues very seriously, except when it comes to us little people, I guess. If we're a security risk or something. Just amazes me that we have to put up with this stuff. And how much money gets fed up to the government? They just had a record amount reported. The most the government's ever taken in the last report. All this money is shuffled up to the federal government, and we have incompetency here, incompetency there. It's like, who can be the stupidest person in government?
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
And people rail they want more of it. More government, more government. No. With people like this in government, do you think we stand a chance against the hardcore countries of the world? Do you think Russia would this lady wouldn't be fired in Russia? She might be executed in Russia. You think Putin would put up with that? And hopefully they can catch the idiot that stole this before they put it in the hands of somebody who figures out what they've got. I mean, there's only so many ways out of Trump Tower as it is, and now all the plans are there. It's not a good thing if something happens to the president. Doesn't matter who he is. And people got to take their job seriously. And I think there's a lack of that out there. And especially in government, there's a lack of taking their job seriously. Or you get the guys that take it over seriously. Those are usually the enforcers. They take that over seriously. Whatever. Just amazes me. And since we're on Trump, we might as well talk about his little meeting with Merkel there. Boy, that was a little tense press conference, don't you think? Yeah, we can say they're not actually buddies. Yeah, they're not good friends, and, well, there's some tensions there. And Mr. Trump was pressing the fact that Germany's not paying their fair share into NATO. They're one of a bunch of countries that aren't putting in the 2% they're supposed to put in. 2% of their GDP, and they're running a surplus. While other countries like the U.S., we still hold up our bargain, and we're running a deficit. Can you imagine? We've taken in records amount of money inside the federal government, and yet they're still running a deficit. They're still going negative. That's not Trump change. Trump pays $38 million in taxes in 2005. The latest assault on Donald Trump has failed miserably. Rachel Maddow and her friends are left with egg on their face as Donald Trump's 2005 tax returns show he paid $38 million in taxes, roughly 25% of the money he pocketed. That's not Trump change, ladies and gentlemen. That's a heaping-sized portion of wealth being provided to the government to redistribute as they see fit. $38 million. That's a lot of welfare recipients. Surely he should be praised for his generosity in helping those who have less. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, this will only enrage his opponents even further. It will be interesting to watch the mainstream manufactured news reposition the focus in the coming days. The unsuccessful bid to sway the Electoral College into changing their votes, that didn't work. The counterfeit protests engineered by George Soros, didn't work there. As the mainstream manufactured news continues to unravel, along with the rest of Donald Trump's enemies, the attacks will only get worse. But Donald Trump has been proven to be right more than he's been proven to be wrong. The wiretapping of Trump Towers is another recent example. Trump knows how to win. His enemies will continue to create reasons to despise him. And now with his 2005 taxes being released, they have one less thing to dislike about him. This makes them even angrier. And to quote Yoda, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. Hey, John, are you ready for me yet? Let's get this going, Shady. Well, all right then. So how was your concentration session? Well, it was more like constipation. Well, what does that mean? It means give me the intro. Tonight's Cool or Uncool is changing the name of the show to Shady Superfly Sexy Show. Not that again. Yes, that again. Okay, so who's going to screen the calls? Don't worry, I'll handle it. Well, if you want to call in, Shady's going to tell you how to do it. There's one quick and easy way to do that, and that's by sending me a picture of your naked girlfriend to my email address. Shady, quit messing around. Fine. Now, who's the first caller? We've got Cora in Naples, Florida. I think you mean Naples, Florida? I like Nipples better. Cora, you're up first on the John LeBang Show.
Sonny, I think you should shut up and let the other guy do some more talking. He's got a sexy voice, and you're an idiot.
Okay, thanks for your call. Chalk that one up for the cool. All right, who's up next? Well, you've got that nut job up next. What do you mean, John Kerry? No, the guy from Austin, Texas. AJ, you're up next. Thanks for your call. We're going to count that as a cool, Joan. Shady, you can count that as whatever. We're still not going to change the name. Who's up next? We've got the fat cow from Chicago. Peppa, what say you?
Oh, babies, fat-bottomed girls make the rocky world go round, Sonny.
Well, that's because you can roll them. Shady, that's not nice. Like I said before, John, it's not in my contract. Well, we got to make a good impression. Impress this, John.
Honeys, I remembers when you wanted something from the Peppers.
Well, I was young and stupid, and your lumps were 200 pounds lighter. Well, big girls need loving too, Shady.
That's right. You tell some sugars.
Well, she can have Leroy. He needs a girlfriend.
Well, I'm always looking for the next baby daddies.
Okay, thanks for your call. Now we got an email from Vanessa. So what does she say? Resistance is futile. Well, what do you think she's talking about? I don't know, Joan. Alien sex? Could be. Anything else? Well, we've got a call from the blonde. Do you want to take it? Do you mean Ditzy? That's what I said, didn't I? Well, sure, put her on. Ditzy, you're on the John LeBang Show.
Hi, John. I heard the good news, and I'm so excited.
Well, thanks a lot, Ditzy. So how are you recovering from the surgery?
It's coming along, John.
Well, how do they look?
None of your business, you dirty old man.
And I'm gonna be one until I'm a dead old man.
Keep it up, and it'll be sooner than you think.
So, Ditzy, when do you think you'll be up and about?
The cast comes off next week, John.
Well, I'll be sure to be there.
Get some control over your show, John. Bye.
And thanks for your call. Well, we've got one last call coming in. Where's it from? The Sanctuary City Bowling Center. We've got 30 seconds, so make it quick.
Hello, John. I can't wait to see Ditzy's new bumps.
Well, I think we're all looking forward to it.
And it makes me want to sing.
Don't hang up before we start singing. No, I want to hear what song he's going to sing.
Her bumps, her lovely lady lumps. I want to ride her humps like the camel bumps. We bump, we bump, we bump. We hump, we hump, we hump. I like her lady bumps. Check it out.
Okay, thanks for your call. Well, that did it. What are you talking about? The whole world just lost 2 IQ points because of that call. Are we done here? Yep, that's it. Good. Bye. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another 60 minutes of sonic vibration known as
The John LeBang Show.
Don't forget to go to my website. That's www.jlebang.com. Thank you to Bubba the Love Sponge, Bubba Army Radio, and the Bubba Radio Network. And of course, thank you for listening. And until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again, and for some of you, that's in the next hour. This is John LeBang, signing off from the Banger Studios.
3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.
Resistance is futile.
Oh, you missed the spot. You guys make a mess. Oh, let's
Don't look at me.
Well, one of you had to do it.
I wouldn't go in there if I were you.
Just shut up. What are you doing in there?
Oh, well,
Oh my! This does not compute! Analyzing! Analyzing!
Ivor, just close the door.
What are you doing in there?
Just close the door, please.
This does not compute! Do you need assistance with your pants?
Oh, I got assistance for him.